all over the world, and it makes you a very good opponent. Look at that! Oh, the big... And now a flurry here at the end. Oh, big shot it down!
Isang gabing hindi malilimutan ang naganap sa Cuneta Astrodome dahil masusubukan ang ating kababayang undefeated fighter, ang tinaguriang Gintong Kamao na si Drian Francisco. Dahil haharapin nito ang beteranong Panamanian fighter at dating two-time world champion na si Roberto la Araña Vázquez. Tatangkayin ni Francisco ang tubong sablayan Oriental Mindoro at Pambato ng Agoncillo, Batangas na kunin ang WBA Super-Flyweight International Championship laban kay Vásquez sa laban na tinawag na bakbakan sa perlas ng silanganan. Si Drian Francisco, 22 anyos lamang, ang sumabak sa professional boxing matapos tapusin ang college degree sa commerce. Siya ay isa lamang sa mga boksingerong nakatapos ng pag-aaral na bibihira nating makita lalo dito sa Pilipinas. Sa unang tunog pa lang ng kampana, mararamdaman na ang tensyon sa laban. Si Vásquez, veterano, maingat at gumagalaw paikot. Sinusukat ang batang Filipino. Si Francisco naman, kalmado pero agresibo ang mga galawan. Makikita ang mga jabs at patama sa katawan. Ipinaparamdam agad na hindi siya matitinag at ang crowd nagsisigawan sa bawat suntok na nanggagaling sa ating kababayan.
The former world champion, WBA flyweight champion, and light flyweight champion. Won that title flyweight where he lost or defeated Sakata in Paris, only to lose that title to Sakata some 7 months later. So it was a short-lived. He held on to the weigh-in. Oh, he had a little trouble getting to the 115 limit. He was over by 1.5 pounds, and it took him 2 hours to take off the weight. And he looked positively. Gonzalez last night, 6 hours after. His opponent Drian Francisco, known widely here in the Philippines, but that's just about it. His last fight was April 19th in Quezon City when he KO'd the Indonesian Cheryl Fabano. But outside of the Philippines, you know, he is a relative unknown, only 26 years of age. In fact, that equals the age of Roberto Vazquez. So definitely not a newbie as far as age is concerned, but has 18 fights to his credit. He is undefeated at this time with 13 knockouts. They call him Gintong Kamao, Golden Fists, here in the Philippines. And as my esteemed colleague said, certainly the biggest fight of his young career, as he goes up against a well-skilled and a former champion in Roberto Vazquez. And you know, you mentioned about the weight problem. You know, he has had that problem in making weights, even in the lower weights at 108 and 112 pounds.
Right at 115, he lost his first fight to the very talented and world-rated Hugo Caceres.
The fans acknowledged a flying left hand by Francisco as we are approaching the end of the opening round. Oh, nice!
Pagpasok ng round number 2, mas naging mainit ang laban. Si Vásquez ay gumagamit ng kombinasyon pero mabilis ang reaksyon ni Francisco. Nakaka-counter ito ng kaliwang hook. Ang road ay parang isang chess game. Bawat galaw may kapalit na bawi. Kita sa mukha ni Francisco ang focus sa laban. Parang alam niyang hinihintay lang niya ang tamang oras para bitawan ang kanyang pamatay na suntok.
The ring rust, you know, could set in. It might take a round or two to get his boxing feet back on, and a nice left hand by Francisco stuns the former world champ. It seems Francisco, when throwing punches, seems a little off balance. Don't you get that,
yes,
that notion?
Does. Crafty fighter. Without go fighting in the Philippines, this is the biggest stage he's ever fought on.
Going right into the attack was Drian Francisco. You know, I asked him, some say that he isn't ready for a boxer of Vázquez's caliber, just not ready. And I said, how do you answer that? He says, yeah, he acknowledged this is a big fight, but his trainer, his team, and even himself, they say, this is his time. Oh, and a nice left jab. Follows up with a nice overhand right that's blocked by being off balance by Francisco, and there's a good evidence there as he goes flying into the ropes.
Yeah, very unorthodox style. One thing you know, even so much to the point where he corrected the ring announcer at the introductions to make sure he got his province correct. You know, so he's very relaxed.
And a very smart guy, not just a smart boxer, but this is something that you don't normally find in the fight game. He's a college graduate, went to San Sebastian College and has earned his degree in commerce.
That's very unusual. He reminds me of like Hasim Hamed. You know, just throws punches from all angles.
And that has brought this partisan Filipino crowd to its feet here in the Cuneta Astrodome.
Francisco's feeling it. He's getting some confidence.
Less than 10 left to go here in the second round. As Vásquez. Oh, and a nice left jab.
Sa round number 3, dito nagpasiklab ang ating kababayan na si Drian Francisco. Pinapakita niya, no look punches. Ang mga patamang ito na pabigla-bigla at nakaka-distract para sa veteranong Panamenyo. Dito, tuwang-tuwa ang mga Pilipinong nanonood sapagkat ramdam nila na nakukuha na ng Pinoy ang tamang timing. Si Vásquez, bagamat sanay sa mga big stage, ay mukhang nagiging alisto na. Ramdam ang lakas ng Batanggenyo.
Weight of 115, and again we talked about the motivational problems. Does he still want to be a world champion, and can he carry whatever power and speed he had at the earlier weights, at the lower weights, into this higher weight class?
Well, you know, Ted, we were talking before this bout about the pressure, perhaps, on the shoulders of Roberto Vazquez. The pride and the pride of boxing in his native country of Panama.
Well, the press is very hard on him in Panama. The boxing is probably the most popular sport in Panama, along with baseball. So they take a keen interest in it, and they will crucify him for sure if he doesn't win this fight. He's definitely expected to beat Francisco, especially in the eyes of Panamanians.
For some reason, the unorthodox and the off-balance shots coming from Francisco, I don't know if Vásquez is able to figure him out just yet. Perhaps never seen a fighter like him.
Great counterpunch from Francisco.
Oh, straight left hand found, and a right found its mark.
This is a little bit of Luisito Espinosa. This is not a Pacquiao here. Espinosa was slick and could come at you from all angles, and actually had pretty decent power.
Body straight left scores by Francisco. I think that boxers at this weight class would be a little bit fast, and I just haven't seen that. I would think that if this guy was in the same, a little bit better, and I just haven't seen it thus far.
Don't forget, he put on 22 pounds in a matter of hours yesterday. So even his manager, Carlos Gonzalez, says that affects his speed. Obviously, that's going to affect your speed.
Sa round 4, mabigat na ang palitan. Si Francisco sinisimulan ng dumoble na mga kombinasyon. Sunod-sunod na kanan at kaliwa. Si Vásquez naman gumagante pero hindi na gaanong kalinis ang tama. Halatang nagsisimulang mag-init ang laban at nagiging mas komportable si Drian Francisco.
Araña, or the Spider, came out in the Spider garb, looking like Spider-Man. Oddly enough, even though he's called Spider, as Francisco has him up against the ropes now.
Good shot to the body by Francisco. And Vásquez really doesn't have an answer right now. I'm surprised because Francisco keeping his hands kind of low. You see him. Look how low Francisco keeps.
That's one of those things. He's called the Spider-Man, and he's deadly afraid of spiders. Once again, Francisco, bigger opponent. Agree with you. Francisco is just unorthodox. Vásquez changes levels right there.
Vásquez is a southpaw. That right hand is close to the. Maybe he's been tagged a few times with the. Considering that. Loose yet. Seems to be a little bit sluggish.
It has been some time since his last fight, back in March of 2009. Wild swing by Francisco. Oh, and tags him there with the left. Nice left jab.
Sa round number 5, dito mas tumindi ang bakbakan dahil wala pang isang minuto sa round na ito.
Do for the career of Drian Francisco.
Well, it puts you in the ratings, it gets you noticed all over the world, and it makes you a very good opponent. Look at that!
Oh, and a big sweeping left hand!
Bumitaw si Francisco ng kaliwa, diretso, malinis na sinundan ng dalawang matitinding kanan. Dito bumagsak si Vásquez, tumayo naman siya matapos ang bilang. Pero halata ang pagkakabigla nito. Sa oras na iyon, ramdam na lahat na kontrolado ng Gintong Kamao ang laban.
Now he doesn't know where he is.
A big left hand and a right as Drian Francisco is beginning target practice. And Vazquez has to get off that rope.
He's got no answer. Vazquez has nothing.
He is picking apart the former world champion. Francisco, the bombardier of his own plane, opening up the payload and loading and dropping the bombs. And there was a big right hand. Vazquez does not know where he is.
He just has no answer, Vazquez. Francisco is just pouring it on.
I give Vazquez credit. He has taken a ton of shots and still continues to fire back.
But he really doesn't have anything. He's just hanging on. And he's been sluggish all throughout. And I'll give Francisco, he's the one that came out. He gets all the credit here. He came out totally in shape, totally relaxed and ready for this fight.
Boy, look at Vazquez. It's just standing right up like it's just not a moving target. Taking full advantage. Boy, Vazquez is in a place right now, and it's not a good place.
Not at all. And this has been building up since the very first round. He never got unleashed. He never got out of the mud. He's been stuck, Vazquez. And Francisco just so unorthodox.
Whoa! Did you see that? It's like a Superman punch in mixed martial arts.
You gotta love Francisco taking advantage of being on this stage. He wants to show his wares. He wants to show how slick he is.
Sa round number 6, sinubok ng beteranong si Vásquez sa bumawi. Pinilit niyang makabalik gamit ang kanyang karanasan. Naglabas ng jab at hook para hadlangan ang momentum ni Francisco. Pero kahit papano, hindi nawalan ng composure ang Pinoy. Bagamat medyo humina ang pace, hawak pa rin ni Francisco ang inisyatibo sa bawat palitan. Mas malakas at mas buo ang dating ng suntok ng Batanggenyong si Francisco.
Drian has left off in terms of popularity and has brought the sport back, but right now he is just getting his butt handed to him by Drian Francisco of the Philippines.
I mean, a virtual nobody, in the boxing world, has been pleading to get his shot at someone of quality, of someone of name. And you're not going to find a bigger name at this weight, than a Roberto Vazquez.
Well, already, no matter the outcome of this fight, already Drian Francisco has proven himself on a big-time stage. No matter the outcome here, you will see him fighting some of the best in the world in this division, at the 115 division.
For Vazquez, this fight is being broadcast in Spanish by our counterparts just down the road here. And, he hopes that this fight isn't being televised in Panama. Because you told him that the press would crucify him about, a performance like this.
Well, certainly the people in Panama have never heard of Drian Francisco. So they were expecting that Vazquez come over here and totally dominate this fight. Now, we still have a long way to go.
Sure. And we might be just speaking out of turn right now, but from what we have seen thus far, it has been all Drian Francisco.
And very impressive. See that? He throws the punch. He's looking off to the side. That is so bizarre. Finally, Vazquez starting to connect a little bit. But you notice, Russell, Vázquez doesn't have the pop and the sting in any of his punches.
Sa round 7, muling sumiklab ang ating kababayan. Nakahanap siya ng mga puwang at inatake ang Panamenyong si Vázquez ng dire-diretso. Tumama ang mga suntok sa ulo at katawan at napaatras si Vázquez sa ropes. Walang makapigil sa agresibong Pinoy.
Close-up of Roberto Vázquez, you could see that is not the face of someone who looks like he's really enjoying himself. That is the face of someone who is may not even want to really be here. He didn't look very comfortable at all.
Well, didn't his manage, but adding on 22 pounds?
Well, he's so obviously sluggish right now. So it didn't do him any good to put on that kind of weight.
You know, he doesn't want to fight after putting on 22 pounds. He want to take a nap. And he may get his wish if he doesn't watch out against this fast-hand Filipino. Left hand scores for Francisco. Nice jab.
I'm just amazed
Great
that Francisco.
Oh. Francisco now starting to go to town as the former world champion starts to cover up. Oh, that's stuck in. Oh, that right hand got in there.
You better believe it did. And that body punch got in there.
You know, we talked about his eating habit. Vázquez needs to go on a diet, and he's getting a steady diet of left and right hands. To the head. To the body. Wow. You know, Vázquez just stood there and took it all, and to his credit, to his testament, he did take it.
But once again, he's got no answer for Drian Francisco because he just can't move. And look, you would have to think that a guy of his speed and talent would be able to take advantage of a fighter like Francisco, whose hands are down below his waist. I can't recall the last time I've seen that, except maybe Nassim Hamed. And I like Francisco's cockiness. You know, that's how you're going to succeed.
Sa round number 8, medyo bumagal ang laban pero kontrolado pa rin ni Francisco. Si Vázquez ay mas nagiging depensibo, parang naglalakad sa manipis na linya. Si Francisco naman, kahit hindi sobrang agresibo, ay consistent sa pag-pressure kontra dito sa beteranong si Vázquez. Alam ng lahat na papalapit na ang katapusan.
Throughout boxing, you know, there's always these guys who come along very unorthodox. But what is Vázquez doing to take advantage of that? Absolutely nothing.
He is like...
I don't think we've seen one good, solid, clean blow landed by Roberto Vázquez. And it's not the junior title that they have up for grabs here. This international title doesn't mean a thing. What means everything is the opponent that he is taking to school. Drian Francisco is doing right now. This is and the way he's doing it. This is going to really raise his profile in the junior bantamweight division.
Now he's got him stand up in the goal, and a big right hand rocks the head back of Vázquez. Stood him up and almost put him down.
Look, Vázquez just doesn't want to be here. You can see it. He's just going to try to ride this out.
I don't know. Maybe if he gets out of here soon enough, he can make lunch. You know, it's really sad to see. I mean, you know, with all the accolades that you've heard about Roberto Vázquez and all of his accomplishments, is that you see a fighter when he's on the downside of his career. And actually, you know, in talking with his camp, they were feeling that they could reverse that course and get him excited and motivated and be the Roberto Vázquez of old. I just don't think the kid has any heart anymore.
Well, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board. No more comparisons to Roberto Duran.
Well, both Panamanian, that's where it ends.
You know, Vazquez has been credited in Panama.
Sa round number 9, si Francisco ay tuloy-tuloy ang pressure. Ang katawan ni Vásquez ay unti-unti nang bumibigay. Kahit pilit siyang sumasabay ng counter, may mga tama pa rin siya pero hindi sapat para mapigil ang Pilipino. Ang crowd ay nagbibilang na lang ng mga minuto, naghihintay ng matinding pagtatapos dahil ramdam na nila na anytime magigiba na ang pambato ng Panama na si Roberto Vázquez.
Ain't happening.
Okay, I was just throwing that out there.
He would have employed that strategy a few rounds ago already. He is getting taken to school by Drian Francisco.
Well, to his credit, you know, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. Vázquez has seemed unfazed in every facet of this boxing match. You would think when somebody is hitting you with multiple shots and body shots into the head that you respond.
Because he worked too hard. He had trouble yesterday getting the weight off. They had to go to a sauna after the weigh-in, and he spent over an hour in the sauna just to try to wring out whatever water was left in his body. And I can tell you he was completely dehydrated when he went into the sauna. And then he turns around and packs on 22 pounds in 6 hours. That is not the recipe for health and physical fitness.
It's like Francisco was winding up for another bolo punch. Look at this awkward style here.
Never seen anything like it.
I haven't seen anything like it.
Except Naseem Hamed.
And it's too early to tell right now because we have a couple of more rounds to go. But, you know, how would he fare with other type opponents? I mean, certainly we've seen Roberto Vázquez has seen better days. But how would that style, that unorthodox dropping of the hands there in the defense, you know, do in other worthy opponents?
Well,
I think you pointed it out, but that face is for the taking. I mean, painted red. He's sticking that face out there. And Roberto Vázquez just doesn't throw a punch.
See that? He's looking down at the ground with his right hand down, and then he hits him with the left. Look at that. That is so weird.
I sincerely hope he's just not making a mockery, you know, of the whole thing. And that's his style. I mean, that's what he does.
What is his style? He's slick. He's very confident. He's a naturally gifted athlete.
Sa round number 10, tila mala pelikula ang mangyayari dito.
Scheduled for 12.
Vázquez is no really over-the-hill fighter in terms of age. He's only 26 years old.
But I think we pointed it out. He had a lot of success early, quickly. Nice roundhouse right, another right.
And wouldn't this be an exclamation point on a very fine and great performance?
Did you see that uppercut? I think if Vázquez gets into the corner up on the ropes one more time, he might be done.
Look at him looking down at his feet. This is a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard here. Look at that, just total showboat, but that's okay if he can pull it off.
And the face of Roberto Vázquez, it is the same face that he stepped into the ring with.
Well, he doesn't want to be in the ring. He doesn't want to be.
It is, yeah,
it's not comfortable
from the get-go.
Wow. This could end in a knockout, or the referee stopping this. Vázquez looks wobbly.
And Drian has taken every advantage. I hope he has his hunting license because it is open season. Continuing to score from awkward angles and another uppercut, the second one of the round.
You know, one thing now, you are definitely going to see Drian Francisco starting to take on the likes of Nobuo Nishiro of Japan.
Yeah.
Maybe Christian Maharis, maybe Hugo Casares of Mexico. You will see him in the rankings of whatever organization, and you will start to see him get fights against top name opponents. And this is exactly what his dream was. This is why his management took a risk to face a guy of this caliber, because you got to take a gamble sometimes.
Dahil sa huling 10 segundo, umatake si Francisco ng sunod-sunod na tila walang katapusang kombinasyon. Tumama ang kanan, kaliwa, at isa pang solidong suntok.
And now a flurry here at the end. Oh, big shot and down goes.
Biglang bumagsak si Vásquez. Una ang muka sa lona, diretso bagsak. Ang referee ay walang nagawa kundi itigil ang laban.
Mandatory 8.
Kaya naman, wagi ang tinaguriang Gintong Kamao na si Drian Francisco, nanalo sa round number 10 via TKO. Ang gabing iyon sa Cuneta Astrodome ay naging saksi sa pagsikat ng isang bagong pag-asa ng Philippine boxing. Yan ay si Drian Gintong Kamao Francisco. Hindi lang siya nanalo ng titulo, kundi nagtanim din siya ng inspirasyon. Pinakita niya sa bawat suntok, bawat round, may pusong Pilipino na hindi sumusuko at naghihintay lamang ng tamang oras para manalo.
In this bout, but time was just ticking away here.
Opponent as he could face at this point in his career, two-time former world champion. However, there was some question marks about his motivation moving up to 115. He lost his last fight, and now there's not even a question mark with Roberto Vazquez. He has got to seriously consider where he's going to go.